uppercut, uppercut, sonic boom.
Let's kick this off. You can see I'm actually going to be doing a video here where we break down a bunch of stuff. Talk about it tactically, go through it, and work out exactly what's going on and why it's good for you. This first one is pretty straightforward, but I want to highlight how crazy the decision-making process is in PUBG Mobile and how there are moments that you've got to look for when you have the opportunity to make a big play or, clear a squad and it's very hard to see them. And I want to run you through this engagement here particularly and talk about some of the things that are going on and kind of introduce you to the concept of decision tree in PUBG Mobile. Let's go back through this. This is the very end of a game. I've got Mr. Ouija and Killam with me, and they're both going to get knocked more or less on the way in. There's a squad down here in this. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hey, go. Here we go. There's a squad down in this section here at that hut. Okay. And what we're going to be doing is trying to isolate the engagement into single bite-sized chunks. Now, this is so what PUBG Mobile is about when you're fighting squads. Just isolating it into single bite-sized chunks. You can see Killam's already knocked, Ouija's knocked, I'm the only one up, and I'm actually taking a fair flogging, and by the time I get to right here, this is tough. We are in real trouble. There's a guy lying on the ground. He's already gone to the ground to shoot us as we're going in. You can see him hanging about just here. There's another guy who is behind in here at the moment. And there's actually a fella down here who's rotating in late on the circle. Let's play this out. Now, I get kind of lucky here. This dude on the ground, his mate is going to walk across and into the line of fire. And that gives me an opportunity to knock him out while also putting damage into the other guys. So now things are really tight. I've got to make a decision. Am I going to try and thirst this guy? Am I going after this guy? And at the moment, I don't know if there's 2 or 3 or even 4 there. The thing that I really know is that it's towards the end, I've got to get Ouija back up. Okay, and that's when I see the guy down at the tree behind the Murado on my left start turning up. And this is the ultimate, in PUBG Mobile. Look at this. I mean, we are absolutely shagged. There's Ouija here, Killam back here. We've got a new player has entered the fray. We've got a guy knocked at this rock behind there. We've got another guy in this hut here. So basically, bad guy, knocked bad guy, me, 10 hit points. It's pretty grim. And I want to revive Ouija. That's really what I want to do. What I'm worried about is they're going to blow the car. Like, you can hear the car is burning next to me. It doesn't get much worse than this. The car is on fire. I have no hit points. Ouija needs reviving. Killam is even lower than Ouija in terms of health. Now, what I'm looking for is an opportunity. I need an opportunity, and I'm going to get it because the guy right here, this is the mistake that he makes. His mate's telling him he's reviving. So he is immediately like, great, I'm going to smash this. I'm going to break the revive and I'm going to do it, you can see here, by ADSing. Now, even though I am very low on health, it is now a 1v1. There's one guy left behind here, okay? And he's going to make a huge mistake. He's going to panic and he's going to push out the back towards Killam. I nearly died from that. Look at this. That's the bad guy there on my left. He's going out there trying to fire into the car. Goes to drop shot, and we get the clear. This is PUBG Mobile. This is what it's all about. This is the craziness of PUBG Mobile. The decision tree there. The revive. Do I revive? Do I heal? Do I, do I push? Do I thirst? And making those kind of decisions takes a lot of practice, or you've got to watch a lot of footage and videos and figure that out for yourself. Now, this could be a couple of parts because I'm really enjoying the idea of breaking these gunfights down. We're going to see how this goes. Anyway, that was the other thing I wanted to show you. Not winning the chicken dinner, but this part here. Okay, so you're going to see I'm going to throw a smoke here. I'm not under any pressure whatsoever. Right here, we've got our smokes. I'm going to throw the smoke, and it's not because I'm also going to make sure that I throw it in the circle and on that ridge line, so there's a place for us to retreat to. And it's not because I'm super confident we're going to get nailed. I'll often say this, throwing a smoke for when we get knocked. And it's quite literally, that is where you go when you get knocked. But it costs you a smoke, like one smoke, but it means that you don't have to throw the smoke when the knock happens, which saves you 3 or 4 seconds. It means that the knock's already safe in the smoke, even though there's no real cover to go to over there. Anyway, we win that one. Ouija gets a clear. This is an engagement at George Polk Crates. And I'm going to run you through this one. This is really simple. Okay, so let's bring the mini map up here. Okay, you'll see there is a bot just here. Okay, at the back, he's down here on the left of screen. Actually, we don't need the mini map for this. This is good. The bot's on the left of screen. I'm not shooting him. The reason I'm not shooting him is because Killam is back here. He has already engaged the squad that is down at the warehouses. And Ganksy is right next to me as well. And what we're doing is we're basically going to allow these guys to push in and then swamp them. And again, it's going to be one at a time. Killam has got this. You look at this is what we like to call overlapping fields of fire. So I'm behind this crate right now, but Killam can fire down that angle there. Ganksy and I can fire down these angles and these alleyways. And if you look up at the top of screen here, there's a guy who's just popped his head up right there. And he is going to push along the top of the crate. Now, he doesn't know where I am. I'm going to get the knock, and this is the cascade of PUBG Mobile. What happens is you catch a squad out. You get one knock, but it's an error. And then they all start making mistakes. You can see Killam just knocked a guy on the right side there while I was doing that. There he is, just over here. I thirst him up, and then the other guy pushes in, and Ganksy is fighting him. He chases Ganksy again with his Vector, and we get the clear. That whole thing was, if you think about it like, what's the best way to show you this? If you've got the crates, these are the crates, okay? And we had lines of fire down that angle, and that angle. I was positioned here, Ganksy's positioned here. That allows us to really, really work hard in these areas here and support each other. And it allows us to isolate any target that comes down really easily. Now, this next one is about area denial. I'm gonna have a sip of my tea while we talk about this, because this is good stuff. Licorice tea, ripper. Area denial. And this is especially valuable in urban environments or in late game circles, where you're not really looking for, like when the circle is that bad and this late in the game, where there's no one else left but 2 squads, the circle's it's scarier than throwables. So what we're going to do here, there is a gap in this fence line. There we go. Okay, so the gap in the fence line is over here. I'm going to use the old gap in the fence line is over here, right? And I'm going to push myself down towards there. Killam and Ouija are going to be behind me. And this was all on comms. And what that means is, you might not realize this, but Killam's already thrown a molly over there at the entry. But this area of Milter Power has, you can see them just there. These 2 long pipes that run along the inside of the wall. You can't just run up, and you can see there's that guy there. You can't just run up and go like that. You've got to jump on these pipes first, and it makes it very awkward to cross, and it means it's very hard to just leap over the fence. So by denying them this alley, we basically force them into a really bad place. And you can see I'm not trying to kill them now. I'm just stopping them from coming through this area. Look at this poor guy. He has to jump up, and everyone knows he's there now. He's like coming over. He's done. And this guy, last guy, makes the mistake of rotating out late. that area of denial is incredibly important. I'm going to fast forward through this because this is really about, I want to talk about when you're rotating through late circles, it's really simple to fall in love with the concept of like, that's the circle, right? And well, I know, you know what we'll do? We'll actually make the circle white. Like, so this is a safe space. And then this is the bad space, right? And it's really easy to fall in love with the idea of anywhere in there is good. Anywhere out here is bad. What you got to think of is what's your rotation? And if you look at this circle, I mean, this might be a little bit hard to see, but I'll try and show this to you. And those two silos there, okay, they are very, very difficult. They're easy to hold from below, but there's a guy right now who is on top of this mountain, which is basically above me. There's a guy down the bottom now. He's under the silos, right? The reason he's under the silos is because the guy above me will kill him if he goes on top of the silos. So we've got this kind of crazy thing where the guy down the bottom can't rotate on top of those silos, which is the best space in the circle because someone is late rotating out of the top area of the circle. And you find this all the time. People, let's just say, for instance, let's draw a mountain, right? There's a mountain. There's another mountain, okay? And this one's in the circle and this one's not. How many times do you guys see idiots in squads who will never leave this mountain until they're deep in the blue, and then they'll slowly run through the blue and die to the people camping on the top? It's because they're idiots and they make bad rotations. So I've got my car here, even though we're this late and it's a tiny circle, because I know that I'm going to end up having to make rotation under duress. So the rotation is going to be with an overlook from a guy who's probably going to rotate in late from the very top of the mountain. And you can see I also managed to get in the car to get me away from that grenade. And then he jumps because he doesn't have a lot of options, and he wants to get rid of me because he can't rotate in because I'm there. Like, how often do you get locked in a death grip outside of a circle and neither of you can rotate just because the other guy happens to be there? Anyway, so the whole point of this whole thing was to show you how I don't muck around too much. As soon as I get this going, I get in the car and I hit that bottom circle, okay? And this is the perfect way to do it. And he is not on top of the circle because he doesn't know who's one up here and he's worried about getting on top. See, look, this is what I'm trying to really show. This silo here, that is the best part of the last zone. That is in the circle on top, overlooks everything else around it. But that guy doesn't know who has won up the hill because the guy that I killed was overlooking that silo and shooting anyone that went near it. So you've got to think about that. You've got to think about things like this when you get to final circle. And then here he comes. Take your M416, and I'll be using the beautiful Mark 14. Thanks very much. This next one is a squad engagement, and this is really a very different thing to solo tactics. Squads are fun because obviously you play with your mates, but more than that, they are also there's a lot more going on. And I'm going to show you this. This looks kind of simple when you're looking at it, but I'm going to explain some stuff to you. Now, Ganksy was on his own when he said that there's footsteps on me, okay? And I started pushing across towards Ganksy. And obviously so did Killer, because that's what you do as a squad. You support each other. I'm going to push in behind Ganksy. And Ganksy is currently third-party peeking this guy over here. You can see Ganksy's run around here. Oh, that's not the one we want. We want this one. Ganksy looped around and then looped straight back. Now, it's intentional. You're going to see he was third-party peeking and he didn't want to get nailed by this guy going around, but I've come up behind him and put one into him. Ganksy has got a knock on that guy that we just hit. And Ganksy is in here now. Killam and I are going to come in. I'm going to come in. We're spraying. Everyone's spraying. Get a couple of hits. And then I'm just going to hold. And while I'm holding, Killam is emptying his clip through that door. But I'm not even engaging. I'm absolutely not engaging. Watch how I go. I just sit over in the corner, waiting for the reload. While that's happening, Ganksy's coming in from the other flank. Like, this is happening in comms. We're talking about this in comms. But it's very hard to catch all this as it's going on. Ganksy doesn't know that this guy's over here. I do. And it's all over. This is why squads is just absolutely hectic sometimes. It really is. And playing with people who you play with all the time is more important sometimes than playing with people who are just really, really good. Playing with people who you play with all the time is chemistry building. It's like when I play with Ouija, I know exactly what to expect. We have a set pattern of play. Anyway, what I want to talk about here is this little move that you're going to see. There is a guy up there. I know he's there because I used my cheaty thing. He's up there, and he's been fighting and clearing people across the road in the northwestern section. Southeastern section. I'm going to fake him out. He's got a lot of kills, so I know he's kind of aggressive, and he's feeling it. Watch me push in, and then immediately pull back out, and voila. Show it again. That is absolutely intentional. Show it to you in real time. Watch me tap in and immediately pull out. Now you can do this all the time. People love jumping out windows. We've all done it. We've all been idiots. Sometimes it's great. When you get baited into it, it's horrible because there is that period of time where they've basically got free shots at you as you go through an animation. And then when you land, watch the compression in his legs when he lands. See that compression down? Look at the gun. The gun's firing straight. It's firing flat out like that. And then when he lands, have a look down here. The gun actually fires down into the ground. That's his bullet because his legs compress. And that's a tragic thing about jumping out of windows. You better hit him on the way down because otherwise you're in real strife. Okay, so a lot of you know all this stuff. That's great. You're the best. Whatever. This isn't just about you. Something else that was going on there. He was fighting guys across the road. And they aren't sure what's happened. And they've seen his name come up in the kill feed probably, and he's died. And they're now like, well, he's dead. Someone's killed him. Let's push. Which is a bad idea. Obviously, this guy is then stuck, trying to stop me to help his mate. And with 13 kills coming out of Pubg. Look at every ounce the winner. You can have a look at this engage. This is the weirdest, most... Okay, firstly, watch this. They have called... The reason I'm going over to this is they've called in an airdrop. They're bot calling at an airdrop that they have just called in. Listen. I don't understand that. They are bot calling and they have just called in an airdrop. Yep. Doesn't make sense to me either. But still, you know, whatever. We'll see how we go. There they are. This is kind of a weird engagement, but there's the airdrop. This is something that I do want to talk about. It's more about what they do wrong. And tell me this isn't the case. Like, people do really odd things. Like they'll thirst when you're being pushed, and you know that if you empty your clip into this guy and get the kill, the next guy's just going to walk around the corner and kill you, and they'll still do it. It's the same as these guys. Look at these guys go for this crate. It's just desperate for the crate. I don't understand why people are like this, because it's so, and this leads me to another point. one of the things that people learn as they get better at PUBG Mobile, and it's not about getting better at shooting things, it's not about better aiming, it's way more important than that. It is, there's going out a window. You go out a window, man, you better be sure that you're committed and you know where they are. It's not getting hit and not getting knocked. One of the biggest problems I have when I'm playing sometimes with people is that they, oh God, and this is, look, I've given those guys a serve. I want you to watch this. Even the most experienced players do this crap sometimes. I accidentally drop my AR when I wanted to pick up that M249, so nothing's reloaded. So I'm like literally just lying here trying to change my weapon. Oh my God. Okay, wanted to get the M249 because this is back in the days when the M249 was good. People, okay, we're going to go back and look at that because I want to talk to you about this. I just want to talk to you about this while this plays. Okay, I play with people all the time who can frag out pretty hard, and when I'm playing my best, it's in a squad setting. It's just I don't put pressure on the squad. Generally, when you play good squads, they will kill you by finding an advantage and then ramming it down your throat. Like I said before, playing with people who know what they're doing is great, but not getting knocked and not turning an engagement into a zero-sum engagement. For instance, like that, where I jump out the window and it's either I'm dying or he's dying. That's the only outcome there of that engagement. And quite often you'll find that in squad fights, people will do that, like they'll put themselves in positions where they're either killing everything or winning this one-on-one or they're dead. And that puts tremendous pressure on your teammates because teammates will then try and rescue you. They'll work hard to keep you alive. And it really causes an amount of stress and distress. And then people go the other way where they actually don't know how to be aggressive while still not getting knocked. And all those things are things you learn by playing a lot and watching a lot of footage. Okay? And it depends too on what you're trying to do, if you're ranking or not. Anyway, this is why I carry 8 smokes. This is solos. I'm outside the circle. There's a guy down there with a Mark 14, I think. Whatever it is, he's got something good. Look at how easy it is to get into a circle like this. And people don't carry smokes. I'm just using the trees, the smokes, and I've come down like 200 meters to a wide open circle without getting touched. And even better than that, look at how close I'm going to end up to this circle and to the guy. This is why you've got to carry smokes. Like, can we just go back to the start of that whole thing? So I'm currently 150 meters outside the circle. You've got to drop and manage your backpack really well. There was a video I dropped the other day finishing things off in Ouija where I did exactly this, just creating a smoke alley straight down towards the target. It's about timing. Smokes will go for 45 seconds, so you don't want to leave it too long, but they take a little while to puff out. You've got about 3 or 4 seconds before they'll fully puff out and give you cover. And once you're in this kind of tunnel, it's really, really hard for them to spot you. It's super difficult, even if you blend it in, but you've got to manage your backpack space. If you're coming into a final circle, you might never need those smokes. Often I'll finish a game with 6 or 7 smokes in my backpack. But when you need them, my goodness gracious me, this is just this poor grub. He's pushed in, he's thrown a Godzilla poo, and it set him on fire after I've hit him with the P911, Colt 1911, whatever. Works great for me though.
Remember to like and subscribe. Remember to join the Discord.
There's a link in the description below to join the Discord server.
I'm going to cut it off there. I rambled on. For
this
like
is another great example in squads.
I'll do it again. I like
Why
breaking
running
stuff down.
multiplayer.
It's good fun.
Look after yourselves, boys and girls.
We get
lots more
screwed here.
stuff going up, but
We're going to be doing
an
overview of the
down,
pistols,
and there is a
the
guy over
changes
there
to
who's
pistols,
desperately trying to
new aim mode. All that's coming this week.
This is why
look
I've
after
only got
yourselves.
one
Love your
smoke.
work.
Not very happy
Share,
about this.
like, subscribe, stay safe on
But
the
I've
battlefield.
got to get
Eat your
this guy
veggies.
as
Be
he
nice to your
comes
mum.
up,
And until
get him.
next time.
But then some dude third parties us.